India now has a public AI compute portal with live pricing, subsidy language, and an actual application workflow. That is the good news. The more useful news is that this is not free open GPU heaven for everyone with a prompt and patriotic feelings. This video is about the IndiaAI Compute portal, which categories of users it is designed for, what the pricing and subsidy path look like, and the practical catches that Indian founders, researchers, and students should understand before they burn a weekend on forms. My take is simple. The portal is more real than the cynics think, but less frictionless than the hype makes it sound. The portal is live, public, and surprisingly specific. The homepage now shows the categories it is targeting: researchers and academia, startups and MSMEs, IndiaAI Fellowship users, students, early-stage startups, early-stage researchers, and government entities. The same portal also says you can submit a compute request with a draft bill based on the rate list, and that request can include a subsidy ask. That is the first important shift. This is not just a mission statement anymore. It is a visible marketplace plus approval workflow.
This matters because the Indian AI conversation keeps oscillating between two bad extremes. Extreme one is pure headline mode. Wow, sovereign AI, huge GPU count, history is being made. Cue background music. Extreme two is pure doom mode. None of this is real until every 19-year-old can fine-tune a model for free from a hostile Wi-Fi connection. The actual story is in the middle. India is building a state-backed access layer for compute through private cloud vendors. That is not fake, but it is also not the same thing as universal, instant, or cheap enough for everyone access. Here's the first filter I want viewers to keep. Do not ask only how many GPUs are there. Ask who is eligible, what documents are required, what request size gets easier approval, and when does the subsidy path make the process slower. Because once you read the public policy and FAQ, the portal starts looking less like a magical GPU buffet and more like a structured procurement pipeline, which, to be fair, is much less cinematic. Bureaucracy rarely trends unless somebody accidentally adds a benchmark chart. The public policy is pretty explicit. Researchers and academic faculty need things like an H-index threshold, publication track record, or citation history. Startups and MSMEs need DPIIT recognition and also need to show either revenue in the stated band or funding above the stated threshold. Students need AI or ML project alignment and supporting academic context. Early-stage startups are not locked out, but the bar is not "we have a deck and a dream." The policy asks for around 4 years of AI or similar domain experience, an endorsement from IndiaAI leadership, or a joint secretary-level officer and above. So the first practical takeaway is this: if you do not already fit a recognized category with documents ready, this is not your fast path. The price list is the second big reality check. This is useful because it is not one heroic headline number. The portal exposes actual instance types and multiple pricing models. On-demand exists, reserved pricing exists, different accelerators are listed separately. Then the calculator adds the caveat everyone skips. Maximum subsidy is up to 40%, subject to approval from IndiaAI, and prices are exclusive of GST and other taxes.
That means affordable here does not mean free, and it definitely does not mean subsidized automatically. It means you can model the bill, ask for support, and then see whether the workflow approves your case. This is the part I think builders should screenshot mentally. The policy says the lighter path applies when the request is at or below 5,000 GPU hours, with at most 50 GPUs requested and no subsidy sought. Once you go above those thresholds, or ask for subsidy, the heavier review path kicks in. The portal FAQ also says requests should be submitted between the 1st and 25th of the month, with the approved list published on the 10th of the next month or the next working day. That is a very different story from click button, get cluster. So if you are a startup founder or lab trying to move fast, the practical question is not just whether the list price looks good. It is whether your timeline can handle that approval rhythm. This is why I think the portal deserves more attention than the usual slogan battle. India's AI strategy looks increasingly like a market and policy stack.
Government mission, private cloud vendors, public eligibility rules, proposal review, and targeted subsidy. That is a more operational model than the generic "India must build its own ChatGPT" discourse. it may also be more useful because a lot of real innovation is blocked by compute procurement long before it is blocked by frontier model philosophy. Now, the caveat. A visible portal, a list of GPUs, and even approved projects do not automatically prove strong utilization, smooth user experience, or meaningful downstream products. As of March 25, 2026, the official PIB release said more than 38,000 GPUs had been onboarded and 190 projects approved. The homepage now also shows 197 end users, which is directionally encouraging, but not the same metric. That is still a serious signal. But the next layer to watch is not just supply. It is actual developer throughput. Who got access quickly? Which workloads got approved? Whether the subsidy logic is predictable? And whether successful teams can turn access into products, papers, or models that matter. So here is the playbook.
If you are a founder, researcher, or student in India, do not treat the IndiaAI Compute portal as hype, and do not treat it as free money. Treat it like a serious application pipeline. Check whether you fit an eligible bucket. Prepare the documents before you touch the form. Scope a project that can survive without assuming the maximum subsidy. And if you need speed, design the request around the lighter path instead of assuming the committee path will move on your schedule. The headline is that India now has a GPU portal. The real story is that the access layer finally has paperwork, prices, and rules. And in AI, the boring layer is usually the one that decides who actually ships.